This broadcast is a Stephen K. Media production.
The success of the small business person is the cornerstone of the American economy. Welcome to the Small Business Today Show with your hosts, Cruz and Hughes. The Small Business Today Show is for and about small business advancement and development. What we do for you. We'll be taking your calls as we provide you small business intelligence and mentorship needed to grow your business creatively. Keep listening. The Small Business Today Show with Cruz and Hughes starts now.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes here on Blog Talk Radio, where we discuss the topics that inspire entrepreneurs from thought to action. Folks, we welcome your calls, your questions, your comments. You can give us a call right here in our broadcast offices that we broadcast every day from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can give us a call at 347-857-3958. Don't forget, you can also tune into our show website at www.cruzandhughes.com, where you can see us broadcasting live via ustream.tv. That's if you want to get a look at us and see what all we're doing while we're away at break. You can see us throwing paper at one another. You can see us taking care of all of the business and minutia that goes on during the course of a business talk radio show. Well, folks, today I have the good fortune of having my good friend on the air with me. He's our guest co-host, Mr. Bertrand McHenry, and he is not only a good friend, but he's quite a good golfer too. And we've had the opportunity to go out and play some golf together. He's looking at me like, you got to be kidding me, man. But we just had the best time the last time we had a golf outing together, and Bertrand was kind enough to drive around so that I wouldn't be on the golf court and run the risk of getting a DWI. So at any rate, I am happy to have Bertrand on the show with me. And so we're going to have some fun today. Folks, we're going to be talking about how to get access to capital and credit to grow or start your small business. So you want to make sure that you stay tuned. I'm going to give you the keys to the vault today. And so if you are listening to our show, then you must be a small business owner. And with that being the case, you want to be sure you listen to this show with pen and paper in hand. And so I want to say, welcome to the show, Bertrand.
Hey, thanks, Irv. Glad to be here.
Well, so tell me, what is happening with the Referral Institute?
Well, first of all, let me say I've never known you to tell fibs until today when you said I was a good golfer.
Well, no, you're better than I am. Okay, you have to admit that. You're better than I am.
I do not have to admit that. Remember when we my golf clubs were still in bubble wrap when I showed up to
that's true.
To the golf club.
That's true. I forgot about that. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Well, you know, folks, what's really cool about Bertrand, and not only, if you can't tell by now, we're great friends and colleagues, but Bertrand actually came to the, there's certain things that you just don't do, and one of the things that Bertrand did was really great, and he's such a great sport, but he just made the whole tournament for me. The guy shows up, and of course, he's in classic Bertrand McHenry style. Of course, he shows up, and he comes to the golf course, and we're ready to get going, and he's got brand new clubs. And the problem with brand new clubs, Bertrand, is that everyone knows that they're brand new clubs. So it sends a message that we better stay away from this guy because somebody's going to get hurt.
That's right.
That's right. But boy, did we have a great time or what?
We had a blast. It was a great day. I think it was WBEA.
Yeah, it was the WBEA tournament. Yeah,
and it was a great day.
Great show. Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of fun. Because it's always about being out there and networking and having a good time.
That is exactly right. And, folks, if you don't know, Bertrand is the president of the Referral Institute of Houston. Did I get that right?
You did.
And let me tell you what, his company literally teaches people how to build networks and how to go about referral networking and a whole lot more. I don't want to steal any of his thunder. But before we get too far into this, Bertrand, please give our listeners some information about who you are, what you do, how you do it, the success you had, all that good stuff.
Great. I'm the president and owner of a company called the Referral Institute of Houston, and we teach business owners how to develop entire and customized referral marketing strategies that lead to a steady stream of predictable and personally recommended income revenue.
Sure.
From referral marketing and networking efforts, intentionally designing networks for your business and going about the business of engaging in referral marketing. And we do that by teaching classes. I teach entrepreneurs on a regular basis how to do that. So we stay busy.
Oh, no doubt. Because now, Bertrand, do you find what I find? Because I find most people really don't necessarily go to the trouble of designing a plan for their networking efforts.
Most people don't have a plan for much of anything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we talk about goal setting and we laugh about that, but it's absolutely true. Most
Sure.
people don't have a concrete plan because we figure we can just wing it.
Right.
And most of all, networking and referral marketing, because those are two words that are pretty used fairly loosely. Everybody thinks they know how to engage in that.
Right.
Yes, most of them don't have a plan, and it's a revelation when we show them how to create a plan and go about designing it by intention.
Sure. So going about designing it with a purpose, a goal, an objective in mind, and not just kind of haphazardly showing up at different places and hoping for the best.
Exactly right. Well, use networking and referral marketing, as I like to say, a hard-edged economic driver in your business where you can actually predict that income, that revenue based off those efforts.
Sure. Now, let me ask you this, because I've never asked you this before, so I hate to kind of put you on the spot, but I need to ask. If you are predicting or you're projecting what revenues might come as a result of, effectively networking, are those good numbers to use to measure, project what your income is going to be? Say, for example, if you want to build a business plan, are those some good numbers to put in there? Or?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you can quantify it and you can show a string of results based off of those efforts before,
Sure.
Absolutely.
Sure. Great. That's good information. And the reason I asked that question is because I wanted to come back to that later in the show,
Okay.
because I'm going to be talking about, folks, how to get access to capital and credit. And one of the reasons why I'm thrilled to have Bertrand on the air with me today is because his company literally provides you with the training, the tools, the resources that you'll need to be able to build your network and stabilize your income from your business. And that, guess what, folks? Income, and a verifiable income, is actually one of the keys to opening the vault to help you get access to the capital and credit that you need. And so I could not have a better co-host on the air with me today to talk about this particular subject. Now, some of you know, if you're a regular listener to our show, you know that I'm an old commercial banker, and I absolutely get all jacked up and fired up about the idea of helping you get access to the capital and credit you need for today's market. One of the problems that we find, Bertrand, is that a lot of small businesses are still stuck in the pre-2008 credit era. When a 625 or a 650 credit score would get you access to some sort of capital, especially if you were a startup. Well, folks, guess what? Those days are all gone. There aren't any of those available out there. Now you've got to be stronger. And what I want to do today is I'm going to give you some information. I'm going to give you the tools and resources that you need. I'm going to tell you what you need to look like today to expect to get access to capital and credit from a bank. And perhaps we'll even talk about some alternative ways to get access to the capital and credit that you need. Now, with that said, I think we'd be irresponsible if we don't talk a little bit about, and we don't get to talk about this on the show a whole lot, but I do want to touch on one thing. I want to touch on politics. I've heard with all the hubbub going on about the election and so on. That's great. I'm thrilled at the enthusiasm and passion that I'm hearing about the election. But at the end of the day, tomorrow is election day, isn't it?
Tomorrow is the 6th.
Tomorrow's election day. And guess what? We're going to either keep our current administration or get a new one. Here's my message to you, small business owners. No matter who wins, you still have to open your doors tomorrow. You still are going to have to open your doors the next day. I'm with you. I'm a small business owner too. Some administrations make it easier to make a living. Some make it more difficult. But at the end of the day, that responsibility ultimately rests with us, the small business owners of this country. And guess what? Your country needs you. I'm talking to you, closet entrepreneur. If you are an entrepreneur and no one else knows it but you're working every day, you're a great employee, you work for somebody, wonderful. You're living a nice life. But you have this idea, this bug, this thing that keeps bugging you, it keeps nagging at your mind. It's in your subconscious. You dream about it, you think about it, it drifts you off in the middle of your workday. You know what that is? That is the entrepreneur trying to come out. Okay? That's that part of you that is supposed to be doing something more than perhaps what you're doing now. And so I want to encourage you, and I'm calling you a closet entrepreneur because I was one. I understand what that's all about. When you're a closet entrepreneur, you're great at your job, but guess what? There's something else. You keep feeling like you're supposed to do something more. And yes, you are correct. You're supposed to be doing something more. I'm not suggesting that you just go haphazardly and jump off the face of the earth with your business, but I am saying that you should do something about it. And when we come back, we're going to give you some tools and resources to help you position yourself to get the money you need so that you can start, expand, and grow your small business. Folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by Small Business Today magazine. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment with keys to the vault right after this.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com. Or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at,
Excuse me, heavy news?
you know, disasters, politics, stock market,
And this alternative is...
coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan,
This storm's coming.
the legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm Gotham's Reckoning. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at cruzandhughes.com. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Welcome back to the show, folks. If you're just joining us, we're talking about getting access to capital and credit to grow your small business. And those of you who might be looking for John Cruz, I have John Cruz sitting right next to me. And you may have noticed that John's changed a little bit. He looks a lot better now than he ever did. But no, John, this is Bertrand McHenry, and he's president and founder, I guess, here for the Referral Institute of Houston. John Cruz is out today and out having a good time, as he usually is. And so he's left me the keys to the store. So with that being said, we're going to give you the information so that you can get keys to the vault and get access to the capital and credit that you need. Now, when we left and took a break, we were talking about, when we come back, we're going to be talking about giving you access to the keys to the vault so that you know how and where to go about getting the capital that you need to grow your business. Now, with that said, while we were off on break, Bertrand, I asked Bertrand to share with us some information about how referral networking and the plan for doing that can be quantified such that it can be included as part of a business plan. Here's the key, one of the keys. This is one you want to write down, folks. One of the keys to getting access to capital and credit is you have to be able to prove, and I want you to underline or circle the word prove, that you can pay the money back that you're asking for. It's vitally important that you can prove it. Well, Irv, how can you prove it? I hear you asking. One of the keys to being able to prove it is you've got to have a system, a model, something that you can put on paper that can quantify how you arrive at believing that you can pay this money back. How are you going to build your company's income? How is that going to be measured? What are you going to use to gauge that with? And guess what? I have the star of such things sitting right here in studio with me. So, Bertrand, with that set up, I've teed it up for you, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Give us some bullet points. What do we need to do? How does it all work? How can we quantify referral networking such that it can give us the numbers we need?
Okay. So, and that's an excellent setup because banks, any lender is looking for as much detail as you can give.
Of course.
Now, networking and referral marketing are subjects that have traditionally been kind of smoky and nebulous subjects. So how do you take that and frame it up so that a bank looks at it and says, okay, here is a structure that's going to reap some benefit for this business owner? Well, one of the things you can do is we segment in Referral Institute, we segment out how many networks you actually have, and everyone has three basic ones: an information network, a support network, and a referral network. And those three can work in tandem. Sometimes they're separate, but an information network is made up of people who are around your industry, who have been in it before, who are in it now, who are instructors for your industry. They can kind of keep you abreast as to what's coming down the pike, what are some of the trends that are coming down the pike in your business, and can give you some insight into how to run your business.
Sure.
Right? Then you get a support network, and this is made up of many people from school to former bosses to people you've mentored before to classmates to family and friends, people who will show up and work a room for you, will take tickets at the door for you, to all the way to people who will lend you some money.
All right.
And then you got your referral network, and these are made up of people who are motivated to bring you referrals and are trained to bring you referrals on a fairly regular basis. So you got those three networks, and if you were to show the bank that you have a handle on those, you even have that knowledge, first of all.
Yeah, absolutely.
How many people know they have three networks?
No, nobody knows.
And have names attached to it.
That's right.
So if you can show the bank that you even have that kind of knowledge and you've got names attached to those networks and you know where to put your finger on your resources when you need them, that's going to be impressive in and of itself.
You doggone skipping it will be, because listen, let me tell you what, Bertrand, I spent a lot of my professional career being a commercial banker, and I can tell you that I don't believe I've ever seen anyone come in with a plan to quantify how their referral network can affect their revenue positively.
Is even built. So let's say we take that. Let's say there's 100 names out of all three of those networks.
Sure.
And there'll be some overlap. There'll be some people in support who are also in referral. But let's say you get those 100 names and you take 25, the top 25, and you list out. Now, with these 5 people, I'm only at visibility with them, but they're in my target market, so they have the potential to bring me lots of referrals. And here's my process for moving them from visibility into profitability, into a deeper relationship and recruiting them. When I get to this stage, we're going to get in a class called Pipeline. It's an all-day class where we learn how to pass referrals, and we actually share a database in that class.
Awesome.
And we put a number to the amount of money that relationship's going to bring us.
That's awesome.
Now, these 10 people, I'm already at credibility with, so I'm getting closer. Probably another 2 or 3 months before I move them into the pipeline. And these people are already passing me referrals. These people are at profitability, and they're worth about $30,000 a year right here.
Wow.
Now, wouldn't that be impressive?
That is impressive right now.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at yours.
Yeah. Well, that's the point.
Right.
Is that with that said, everybody has that.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But just like you said, you just said, well, that person's worth $30,000.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's impressive. I've never been able to put a number on it, let alone have some parameters by which I could be comfortable putting a number to it. And I think that's why it's so important, folks, that when you're looking to get access to capital, one of the keys is making sure that you can quantify how you arrive at these numbers. What is going to be the driver for your sales? And I'm sorry to use such a bad word, folks, but if you're in business, you should be selling something. Whether you're selling a product or a service. Now, if you've ever been around me, I'm going to tell you, you should be selling both. You should be selling products and services. Why? Because why limit yourself to opportunities? So one of the things Bertrand is talking about is literally being able to put a system in place such that now it supports your business plan.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It supports your business plan, and you can drive that forward. We taught a pipeline class about 4 weeks ago, and at the end of that 8-hour class, and this is a partner class, it's you bringing a referral partner in.
Sure. There
were probably 8 people all, so 4 teams basically, and we left at the end of that day with $774,000 of predictable closed business over the next 12 months for all of those people.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's absolutely quantifiable. It's measurable. You can make it happen and move it forward. And that's powerful for a bank when you can show what your process is. Now, here's the other thing. I'm only at visibility, shallow level relationship with these people. But here's my plan to move them over here where they'll be in profitability. Now, not only that, over the next 12 months, here's how I'm going to grow my network and keep people in my pipeline.
That's good. That's good stuff. And let me tell you what, man, the next thing, the next key, and you just touched on it, you actually teed it up for me, is sustainability. When you're talking about income for your business and you're in a startup stage and you're going to go and start looking for money, one of the keys is that income must be quantifiable, which we talked about. Mm-hmm. But the second thing, Bertrand, you just mentioned was being able to build a plan such that now going forward, you can prove that that income is sustainable. And that's a big deal. Why? Because if you're trying to get a loan, folks, that loan is expected to be paid back over a period of months or years. And so guess what? The bank's going to take a hard look at how sustainable is your income.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're saying is you actually have a way to go about doing that as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You need a referral marketing plan just like you need a marketing plan.
Sure.
That'll shows anyone else, what am I going to do? What are the things? What are the steps I'm going to take every month, every week, every quarter over the next 12 months that's going to continue to build this network? And I'm going to feed my information, my referral, and my support network. And out of that, I'm going to feed my pipeline of potential referral partners that can bring me income.
That's good stuff. And let me tell you what, the idea of being armed with that kind of information, I know for me as a business owner, it makes me sleep a lot better at night.
Oh yeah,
because now every day when I get up, I know what it is I'm supposed to be doing and why.
Yeah, absolutely. You look, it's a plan.
Yeah,
and that's why most people get stuck. They don't really have a plan, and it may be in their head, but until you write it down, on paper or on the computer,
it's not a plan.
It's not real.
Yeah. It's just not real.
It's almost the the act of writing gives you a grip on it.
Well, you know what else? It's tangible now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the problems with not writing down plans and keeping things in your head is that, I don't know about you, Bertrand, but things change in here. Things change in my mind. If
you do?
Yeah, things change in there. Yeah. I mean, you know, I can slam my finger in my car door and my plans will change.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can get in a fight with a good friend or a wife or something, and all of a sudden my plans change.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Absolutely.
and so the problem is, without writing it down, I think plans change in there. Things happen to change that, but when you capture it on paper, and you've made the jump, and now it's tangible, and now you've memorialized it, so to speak.
Right.
Not only do you have it right in front of you to reinforce what you thought at the time and what the plan was, what the vision was, but now you can share it with people who can actually help you make that happen.
Mm-hmm. And they can see how it's real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And now it's real. And you know, perhaps one of the other things talking about sustainability is this: when you have an income and you're looking for money, folks are going to be looking for, is that income sustainable? What's the plan for sustaining that income? And then also, is there a secondary source of income? And guess what, folks? Your referrals can literally provide you with a second source of income where perhaps you didn't even have one. And so just remember, the first piece of being able to get access to capital is you've got to be able to have an income that you can prove that is available and sustainable. So when we come back, we'll move on to the next steps. Folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by MegaSuits. MegaSuits offers an extensive collection of quality business clothing such as men's suits, dress shirts, shoes, and accessories. Call MegaSuits today at 888-349-2910. Stay with us. The education continues in just a moment.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash. I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disastrous, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan,
the storm coming.
The legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm Gotham's Reckoning. The Dark Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Welcome back to the show, folks. If you're just joining us, guess what? We're talking about getting access to capital and credit for your business. And I have right here to my right my co-host, Mr. Bertrand McHenry, who is the president of the Houston Referral Institute. Referral Institute of Houston. And you know what? He's been giving us some great information about how to go about quantifying your network such that it can be used as a support for your business plan. Folks, when you're looking for money, it's important that you prove that you're able to generate an income and then have that income be sustainable as one of the keys to being able to get access to credit. Now, what I want to do, Bertram, is I'm going to switch gears here because I want to talk about personal credit. Folks, when you are a startup, one of the best things you can do is take a look at your personal credit. Please do not go start looking for money for your business without having looked at your personal credit. I'm stunned at the number of people, Bertrand, who will go and try and buy a car, a house, get a business loan, try to get insurance, a job, any of these things without looking at their personal credit. Folks, go look. I know you might think, oh, my credit's terrible. Look at it. It is what it is. You can't fix it if you don't know where you are.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I'm stunned at people who will literally go looking for money and they won't even pull their personal credit. Folks, don't put yourself out like that. Look, I'm going to tell you what. Let me put it this way. I want to bring it home for him, Bertram.
All right.
Here's what it is. You're getting ready to take your financial clothes off in front of a total stranger. You ought to know what you look like. All right, you do not need to be out in front of strangers with your financial clothes off and you had no idea what they were going to see.
Exactly.
You need to know. All right, and you should be the first one to know what you look like. And so I want to give you some points about this. Your personal credit. Go and pull it. Now, let me just tell you, if you hadn't seen your personal credit in the last 60 days, guess what, folks? Go and get your credit pulled, and listen, pull all three reports from all three reporting agencies. If you hadn't seen your credit in the past year, guess what? You can go to annualcreditreport.com. You don't have to go to all these things where you got to pay all this money. You can actually go to www.annualcreditreport.com. That is a government-run website that allows you to access your credit scores from all three reporting agencies, okay? Now, once you pull this credit, it's important. I'm going to give you some of the keys to the vault, all right? When you look at your credit, here is what you need to look at. Now, I'm still very much involved in the small business finance industry, and I know what's being approved for loans and credit lines and what is not. And so here is where you want to get you a pen handy because you want to measure. I'm going to give you the measuring stick. I'm going to give you the information you need, the tools you need to quantify your own personal credit and see whether or not you could even qualify for any kind of lending. And guess what? If you don't look like this, here's a tip. You've got some credit work to do, all right? And it's okay if you got credit work to do. It's no problem. You just need to know where you are and what to do, okay? You ready? All right, let's go. Number one, personal credit. Your personal credit score, now we're talking about the score, needs to be 720 or higher. 720 or higher. Well, Irv, does that mean if I have a 690, I can't get access to capital? Yes, that's what it means. Okay? You have to be 720 or higher. All right? So number one, your credit score needs to be 720 or higher. All right? Number two, you need to have 24 months of payment history.
Okay.
That's flawless.
Okay.
And let me tell you what I mean by flawless. That means you were not late. you need a 24-month stretch of payment history where you made all of your payments on time. You need 24 months of that. Used to be 12 months. Now it's 24. Okay? It used to be, Bertrand, that you had a 650 credit score, you were pretty much bankable. Today, 720 or above.
Wow.
Did you know this?
Quite a bit.
Did you know this already?
No, I did not.
Yeah. So I'm just saying this is what you've got to look like. All right. So payment history, 24 months, no late payments. That's what you got to have. Now, number 3, available credit. Now, this is your revolving credit, and I'll get into this in just a moment. Revolving credit, folks. Your revolving credit needs to be available greater than 50%. Now, I know that sounds a little tricky. I'm going to go slow and try to break this down. When you look at revolving credit, this is your credit cards. These are your Visas, your MasterCards, your gas cards, your department store cards, those things. That's revolving credit. If you had 5 credit cards, all with $1,000 limits, your total available credit would be $5,000. If you have $4,000 charged up on all those cards, you would be at 80% debt to credit. Or another way to look at it is you would have 20% of your credit available to you. All right? The banks today want your available credit to be more than 50%. Or in other words, your balances then, if you had $5,000 in credit available to you, your total balances need to be below $2,500.
Right.
All right? Now, you might say, well, Irv, who can do that today? Well, that's not the point. The point of this exercise, folks, is so that you can know how to position yourself to get access to the capital and credit that you need. And I'm telling you, your available credit needs to be greater than 50%. All right? That's number 3. Okay? Now, number 4. There are 3 categories that are listed on your credit file. Did you know that?
No.
There are 3 categories. Everybody's credit file is broken down into categories.
Okay.
All right. And the first category is real estate. That's where your house is on your credit, wherever your mortgage is, whatever real estate account that you have that you're paying on a monthly basis, that's the account that should be there. For most people, it should be 1. And it should be the largest one because that's your house. It's the biggest investment, biggest expenditure that you're making personally. Okay. Second, you have a category that's called installment credit. Now, this is for your cars, your jet ski, your student loans. Those are installment accounts. Okay, and guess what? You're going to need some accounts in there. And then the last one is your revolving credit. If you are in a situation, folks, where you're trying to build or reestablish credit because maybe something happened and you lost your credit, if you're trying to get back in the game, let me just give you a tip. You need to have 6 accounts. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? That will get your credit score back to where it needs to be. You need 1 real estate account. That's your house. Okay. You need 2 installment accounts. That could be a car, it could be a student loan, it could be any kind of a installment account, it could be a jet ski, a boat. That doesn't really matter, just so it's an installment account, not a credit card. All right? And then so that 1 account for your real estate, 2 accounts that are installment accounts, and then the third category is your revolving credit, and guess what? You need 3 credit cards. You need 3 revolving credit cards. So in total, you would have 6 accounts. All right? That's what you need. And you need to manage those 3 revolving credit accounts. That's for those of you who are trying to come back or you're just trying to increase. Now, some of you have great credit. Some of you are at 700. Some of you are at 60 in that funny space that I call 680 to 710 or so. Not quite at 720. These are things that you can do to improve your credit score dramatically. And let me just tell you, real simple. Credit scores, folks, are based on ratios. Okay? And what you want to do is anytime you want to increase your credit score, there are 2 ways to do it. You got to skew the ratios. Either 1, you skew your revolving credit ratios. Remember I said you need to be greater than 50% available credit. Well, how do you do that? Well, either 1, whatever your balance is, you pay it down. That's one way.
Okay.
Or 2, you add new credit. that you don't charge. Because now that new credit is available, but you didn't charge anything. And guess what? Now you've added credit. So now whatever your current balance is, now it goes down. That's the point.
Okay.
Your ratio goes down. So that's one way to do it. Now, Bertrand, was that helpful for you?
That was very helpful. Most of that I didn't know.
Well, you know what? The thing is that when somebody is looking to build a business and they're going to go get access to capital and credit, the first thing they're going to do, folks, is pull your credit. Okay. And since they're going to pull your credit, you got to be the first one to pull it and see. I've given you the steps on the grid, if you will, to go about looking at your own credit to determine whether or not you can go to a bank and expect to be approved for a loan.
Right.
All right. Or a line of credit. And if you don't measure up, this is not for you to panic or feel bad. This is so that you're armed now with the information to quantify your credit file and see what work needs to be done.
Right.
That's what it means. That's what this is about. And then perhaps lastly is this. I want to talk to you just briefly before we go to break here, because when we come back, I'm going to talk to you about where to go and look for some money. But folks, don't get a bad attitude about looking for money. All right, I want you to have a great attitude about looking for money. Some people have told me, Bertram, that they're even done now. They've given up on looking for money to grow their business.
Really?
Yeah. Here's the problem. You can't keep growing like that.
Right. No, absolutely.
Yeah, at some point, you're going to wind up having to need some money, and guess what? You got to look for money when you don't need it. All right? Folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by RingCentral.com. To get RingCentral's virtual PBX for your business, you can call them today at 888-716-5022. Stay with us. When we come back, we're going to talk about sources of capital, places where you can look for money. We'll be right back.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cuny is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancuny.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan, the legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm Gotham's Reckoning. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at cruzandhughes.com. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Welcome back to the show, folks. We're talking about keys to the vault, how you can get access to capital and credit to grow and expand, or start and grow, expand your small business. And I had gone through some bullet points, and I'll just review those really quickly. You got to have good personal credit. You got to have a good payment history. 3, you've got to have 50% or more of your revolving credit available. There are 3 categories that you want to have to round out your credit profile. That's real estate, installment, and revolving credit. And number 5, you want to have a verifiable income. One of the biggest challenges that small businesses have when they get started, Bertrand, is they have no income and no assets. And boy, that's an issue. So you want to have some sort of verifiable income, and Bertrand certainly gave some great information on how to go about quantifying your network so that you can prove that you can have an income. And then lastly, number 6 is your debt service ratio, and that's tied to your income. In other words, take all of your monthly payments, add those up, add up your monthly expenses, see what those are, what you're paying monthly, then add in the monthly payment amount that you're going to expect if you're going to get a loan, and then divide that by your income. What you should get, what bankers want you to have, is for every $1 of monthly payment that you're paying on debt, that you have at least $1.30 to pay for it. All right. That's called the debt service ratio. And let me tell you, the number is 1.30. Okay. So now write that down and just hang on to it. If you've got questions about this, folks, you guys can email me at Irvin. That's ERVIN. That's ERVIN, Irvin at cruzandhughes.com. Now, Bertrand.
Yes.
You're a business owner.
Right.
How'd you finance your business?
I bought it.
You bought it outright?
I financed it myself. Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, hold it. You spent your money.
I did.
You didn't borrow any money.
I didn't borrow any money.
Now, I'm asking this question, Bertrand, because a lot of people feel like you do, because they say, well, Herb, I don't want to get into the debt. And I don't want to create the debt. I don't want to pay interest and fees. Knowing what you know now, knowing that full well that if you had borrowed that money and paid interest on it, knowing what you know now, having forked over all the cash, whatever it took for you to start, how do you feel about that today?
I used to say I bought it myself, I financed it myself with great pride.
Sure.
And now I feel like the beginner golfer with the bubble on the heads of my golf clubs. I would not do that again.
Yeah.
Absolutely wouldn't.
Yeah. Now, share with us what you can. Why do you feel like you wouldn't do it again?
It drained my operating capital.
Yes, it does. It absolutely does.
That's the main reason.
That is the main reason, because you know what happens, folks, and Bertrand, you bring up a good point. And by the way, I appreciate you sharing that.
Absolutely.
See, folks, when you're starting a business, I hear a lot of people who have heard all kinds of disinformation about how to handle finances, and all that information is true right up until you start your own business. Now the rules change. Okay. If you are an employee and you are on a fixed income, sorry, if you're an employee, you're on a fixed income. All right. Now, and so now the personal finance strategies that are prevalent out there do work, and they work well for that type of person. The minute you decide that you are going to be an entrepreneur, that you're going to start your small business,
right?
Now those rules change, and you can't apply personal finance rules in a business or an entrepreneurship type of strategy. Your money, the money you saved up in your 401k or for your retirement or however you've done it, whether it's you saved money for medical reasons, you've saved money for retirement, you've saved money for education, you've saved money for a rainy day, you've saved money for a Christmas fund. It really doesn't matter. Your money is for you.
Correct.
Okay. And when you start a business, folks, I'm sorry, but business is risky. It just is. Right?
It is. Yep.
Business is risky. And the problem I have, Bertrand, with people using their own money to finance a company is, guess what? Since you're the owner, that business is risky to you too.
Exactly.
And if you use your personal money to start or expand that thing, the problem is now if you fail, not even necessarily to no fault of your own. You know, we just had a hurricane happen not too long ago way up on the East Coast, and I know that there were some startup companies going right there that are right today out of business. Okay? Well, guess what? If they use their own money and now they need that money to recover themselves personally, they don't have it.
They don't have it. That's exactly right.
And your money, folks, is for you. That's why it's the thing we talked about while we were at break, and I want to share this with the folks. Interest. Some of you got real bad taste in your mouth about interest and paying interest on loans. Let me tell you what interest is, and it'll help you. Okay, interest is the fee you pay for somebody to put their money in your risky deal. Okay.
Yeah, I love that.
You should pay them something for putting their money in your risky deal so that you can keep yours.
Yes.
Okay. And that way, if you fail, guess what? You've got some money to recover yourself personally, live to fight another day, and guess what? Apply lessons learned and go back and pay the person that may have lost money with you on the first go around. Not only that, it will build your credibility, it'll build your character, and guess what? You'll probably have a friend for life because you came back from it.
Right.
But when you use your own money, boy, you got no way to rescue yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so now, do you run across businesses that have kind of started that way, where they've kind of gone and bootstrapped themselves and not necessarily gone out and done the things necessary to get access to capital from outside?
And worse.
And what?
And worse. I'd started 2 companies before with partners before.
Sure.
And gotten into a little situation with some partners and getting some lines of credit, which is why when I decided to do Referral Institute, I did it on my own.
Sure.
But exactly what you're talking about. It drains you of your operating capital, and I still run across entrepreneurs today.
Sure.
Most entrepreneurs have a dream to do a business, and they go get their DBAs, and they get outside the courthouse 2 steps and go, now what?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, and really what they need to do is call me.
Yeah,
that's what they really
absolutely.
Need to do. Yeah, they really do need to call me. That's wonderful. Well, so folks, I wanted to make sure that we gave you some sources, and I'm just going to run through these places to look for money other than banks. Number 1, credit unions. Number 2, equipment lease finance companies. Number 3, SBA finance companies. Number 4, peer-to-peer lenders. Number 5, community lenders. Number 6, contract finance companies. Number 7, accounts receivable or factoring companies. Number 8. Number 8, personal circle lenders. A new one that's out there is exchange traded receivables for those of you who have really big contracts and are really doing some big things where you need millions of dollars. And then, of course, don't ever leave out private equity investors. Those are great sources, but guess what? You got to spend the money to make sure you protect yourself, and so you want to consult your attorneys and your CPAs to make sure that you have spent the money to keep your best interests protected. Folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by the Lexington Law Firm. Listen, when you need credit help, get a free consultation today by calling 888-744-7081. Stay with us. We're in the home stretch. We'll be right back right after this.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff.
Come buy my stuff. Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is?
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan,
The storm's coming.
the legend ends in IMAX. What are you? Gotham's Reckoning. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Welcome back to the show, folks. I'm sorry, I'm giggling over here at our producer, Stephen K., who is doing all kinds of magical things over there with the magic board. But at any rate, I want you to know, Bertrand, I have really, really enjoyed having you on the show.
Thank you, Irvin. This has been great.
It's always great,
Yeah.
man. I'm hoping John doesn't listen to this. He's going to get a little intimidated by you, man.
No way.
No?
No way.
Well, listen, so are you going to come back on the show?
Absolutely.
Can I invite you back?
That'd be great.
All right, man.
Whenever
I think we'll have a great time.
Yeah, I think we'll have a blast.
I absolutely will have a blast. So thank you, my friend, for being on the show.
For all this. This is great subject, and you're so knowledgeable about it. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, man. It's good stuff. Hey, listen, folks, before we go today, I want to give you some information on a seminar that I have coming up this week. It's coming up on Friday, November 9th. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. You can get registered for it. We're going to be talking about government supply contracting. It's a free seminar. You can come out there. You can meet me. We'll try to get John over there, try to get Bertram involved in there, and so you can come in and kind of see who we are and what we're doing and talk about how to grow your business using government contracting. There's some great opportunities out there. For more information, you can call 713-726-2500, or you can go online at www.s as in Sam, B as in boy, O as in Oscar, the number 4.eventbrite, that's BRITE.com. So we're going to be talking about how to get access to some of the billions that's being spent by these government agencies, and they're looking for small businesses, folks. They're trying to get small businesses more involved in the contracting process. And let me tell you what, guys, government agencies, they just buy stuff, you know, and so you always want to make sure that you're participating in any which way you can to grow your business. So thank you so much, folks, for tuning in to Small Business Today. It's brought to you by Small Business Today magazine and our good friends at Sales Nexus. If you need a good CRM, customer relationship management system, try out Sales Nexus. You can go and get your free trial copy today at www.salesnexus.com. com. Well, folks, until tomorrow, be smart, be successful, and above all else, folks, be in action, and we'll see you tomorrow.